and they're there so you can talk to them.
Hey guys.
Fire away.
Hey, Coach, I'm wondering if I'm sure you did, but did you see the Kentucky game yesterday and based off yesterday and kind of what you've seen this season, what stands out when you watch them?
Well, we've only seen, we only had two opportunities, obviously, with Moorhead and with Richmond yesterday. And, of course, yesterday they ran into I don't know if that was Richmond's first game or not. I can't recall that. KT, do you remember was Richmond's first game?
No, that was they played Moorhead.
So they had played Moorhead as well. So it was I certainly thought Richmond played terrific. Kentucky didn't make shots. That was a big thing. But hey, Richmond's a top 25 team. So and Kentucky's obviously young, but I saw some really good things that Kentucky did, especially defensively, and what they'll continue to do and get better at. But the big thing is they didn't make shots, and Richmond just played a terrific basketball game.
Hey, Bill, I know you guys have been on the road since playing those couple of games last week, but have you been able to have regular practices? Has the schedule been okay for kind of the situation you're in?
Yeah. Is that Kevin? I don't know who asked the question. Was that Kevin?
It was me, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think that we've had, when you say normal, it's been as normal as it ever is on the road. I mean, we've had our hour. Like yesterday, we went real light just because, guys are tired, because we went pretty hard. Saturday after the Thursday and Friday game. But, yeah, it's been relatively normal. If we don't play well, it won't be because our schedule's been screwed up, anything like that. Now, it's been a kind of a long trip, and there's not much for the guys to do. Hey, let's hustle back and get to your room by yourself. I mean, that's about kind of how this Florida vacation, Indy vacation has gone so far. So really, yeah, it's been pretty normal, other than the no social activities. I mean, we wanted to take our guys out even on a boat, on Saturday, maybe do a little sunset cruise, do anything. And we couldn't do it because of social distancing. We'd have to get 3 boats. So I don't think the school would be very happy with us if we did that.
Hey, Bill, what have you thought of Jalen so far?
I think he's played really well. I think we're learning more and more about our team, Jesse. He's not a 5-man, but he can do some things offensively in that 5 spot that we're learning more about because basically he'd have a bigger guy guarding him in most of those situations. So I think he's played well. I do. I thought the other day, against Gonzaga, he and Bryce, I thought were both bright spots. And to be honest with you, Oach and Marcus both played very well also against the Zags. But in the game against St. Joe's, who was a really hard team for us to guard, he allowed us to switch everything, and our switches were pretty good, especially second half. They were really good. And then offensively, we really we moved the ball better, to be honest with you. And I do think the way when we play small, there's not as much holding of the ball because we're waiting on a ball screen or something like that. So the ball's moving quicker. And when it moves quicker, we can play a couple of ball movers and then drive bad closeouts and things like that, probably better than we can when we play a 5-man. So, we're not going to win without David obviously playing well and being a huge part of everything we do. He's been our best performer since August, to be very candid with you. But he didn't have a great first couple of games, but we know what he can do. But just to know that we can play small and give a team a different look. And Jalen's also, as you've seen, he's got a very strong lower body, so he can kind of hit people and stuff like that, and kind of get them off the block as opposed to letting them catch it on the block and then trying to play defense.
Hey, on David, how do you respond to the slow start and rough couple of games?
I think he's been fine. He's got the best attitude. I think he just put too much pressure on himself. I mean, you stop and think about it. I mean, it's a different role for everybody this year, everybody. And, and I pumped him up pretty good, deservedly so, about what I think he can do and all these things. And then in his mind, he's probably got a little bit of I gotta be as good as Doak or be as, better than Doak and these type of things going on in his mind. I just think he put too much pressure on himself. He just got to be able to, just be able to relax and go be who he is, because who he is a terrific offensive player, a very, very, very good rebounder, and certainly a guy that can certainly be a better low post defensive presence too. And so I was actually kind of somewhat encouraged after I watched the Gonzaga tape a second time, because guys, we were right there. I mean, 9 minutes left after we're down one possession, and we didn't have, arguably, the best player that we had in the game that day, in Och in the game. So I thought there was some really good things that happened after that initial first 8 minutes or so against Gonzaga.
Hey,
Bill, how is David's leg?
Excuse me?
How is David health-wise?
He's okay. He's okay. He did not practice Saturday. He did minimal stuff Sunday, but we hope he can go do more today and then be ready to go tomorrow. But he's nicked up a little bit, but I don't think it's anything from a structural standpoint or anything like that that's going to keep him from being out there competing.
Hey, Bill, this is Jerry Tipton in Lexington.
Hey, Jerry, how you doing, man?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
I wondered in Kentucky's game last night, they had no assists in the second half. They had 21 turnovers in the game. And as you mentioned, they didn't make a three-point shot. How does that play on your mind as the opposing coach in the next game?
Well, it's obviously not the norm. I would probably say, well, they'll make, law percentages will catch up, and they'll definitely make shots and those sorts of things. I do think this, sometimes numbers can be so skewed, and you know this, Jerry, covering it so long, but hey, when you don't make shots, you don't get many assists, so it's and the way that they play a little bit is that Sarr is so good at catching and facing and putting it down one bounce or backing you down a little bit that, that eliminates an assist, but still the pass has to go to him where he wants to catch it in the sweet spot or whatnot. So I don't really look at that much as a telltale sign at all. I know that there's some things they can certainly look at us and say, wow, these guys didn't do this or didn't do that against Gonzaga or St. Joe's, and we'll look at the same thing. But the reality of it is here that we're not the team that we will be, and Kentucky's not the team they will be. And this particular game will be, it's be such a prideful game that I know that our guys will really look forward to competing against them, and I know their guys will as well. And we're both a little bit wounded right now, and usually wounded animals are really dangerous. So we know they'll play well.
Bill, what's your level of concern, if there is any, over the kind of COVID situations that have unfolded at Gonzaga and St. Joseph's, who you guys have both played?
Well, you know what? That's a good question, Scott. I'm really not any more than I would be any other time, because I don't think this is going to be a year where you can be worried about everything that potentially can happen, because there are going to be things that happen all the time. I know that I know that we tested Saturday evening, and I know the tests were all negative. I know our medical staff has worked with Kentucky's medical staff, and they've done all the contact tracing and all these things, and it's far beneath the minimums, those sorts of things. So I guess there's always a concern that something could happen. But I don't know if this is a year that you can just go through and, any third party, when something happens to a third party, you have to do your due diligence. But I don't know that you can just fret or worry about things you have no control over. And, if there were something that were happen in the future where guy has to sit or guy's got to get quarantined or whatever, then you just do it. I mean, there's just no decisions to be made. But in this particular situation, I think all the medical people feel pretty comfortable with this.
Bill, can you talk about DeJuan's game against St. Joe's and moving forward, his role, and then how would that impact Marcus in what he is doing when DeJuan's in the game?
Dave, it's a really good question. DeJuan showed us some stuff against St. Joe that, just like the ball just moved better. He's not a break you down guard off the bounce, but what he is, he can really move the ball fast, and then he can play off somebody else's closeout. Somebody else's penetration, and then when he gets in there, he's such a good passer and has great feel. I was really impressed how he played. I thought he played a way that would allow him to play against anybody, because it wasn't like he just went and whipped the guy. What he did was he just took what the defense gave him, and he moved the ball quick, and he has great vision. And with Juan, one bounce to force help, he's really good at finding the open guy really well. Probably the best of anybody on our team. So I think that Marcus can play with him, obviously, depending on how other people are defending us and things. But the bottom line is, it's just it just gives you a little bit more confidence that Bryce can play, obviously, the point some, but having Juan out there that could play the point also, I think it takes a little pressure off against teams that are pressuring us and teams that are turning us over a little bit or have us sped up.
Got time for one more.
Hey, are you surprised at all about maybe the number of bunnies and layups you guys have missed in the first couple of games?
Benton, it's I don't know what the numbers have been. I did not chart that, so maybe you did. But Gonzaga, wow! How many? We missed 3 or 4 that you would think that would be. Not automatics, but they're it's a 2-foot putt, or a 3-foot putt. And I've missed plenty of those, trust me. But in this particular situation, I believe that those are what I call bunnies, and everybody's going to miss them. But one thing about it is, when you don't have Doak, that's always playing above the rim, things like that, I do think it brings those more into play. And certainly against Kentucky, that'll be something that'll be very important, because with their length, and we don't really play above the rim with our bigs as much. With that length, that obviously brings in blocking and altering more into play. So I thought that was pretty good observation on your part, because we ran some stuff better than what the appearance was, because gosh dang, it seems like we had it at 2 feet quite a bit and came away with nothing.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
fellas.
Coach.
Have a good one.